So I saw a YouTube video that rubbed me the wrong way. It was a Shonen Showdown video where they were at an anime convention and they asked the public to rank anime protagonists. And my boy Naruto was at the very end of B rank, while Luffy was consistently an S tier character. And don't get me wrong, I love One Piece more than the next guy, and my channel is literally named after One Piece, but I draw the line with putting Naruto so far below Luffy. And I grew up watching both Luffy and Naruto, and I love both these characters so much in their own respective right, but Naruto just clears Luffy in terms of writing.
NANI? Oi, 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 oi. Mate.
Hey, wait. Before you get to the comment section of this video and start going crazy, just listen to what I have to say. I have so much respect for both One Piece and Naruto, and they both have such an important place in my heart. Like, I love One Piece and I love Naruto so much, but I will say that Naruto is just the better written character. Naruto is what we call a dynamic character, while Luffy is what we would call a static character. And what do I mean by that? Well, first let's define these terms. A static character is defined as a type of character who remains largely the same throughout the course of the storyline. Their environment may change, but they retain the same personality and outlook as they had at the beginning of the story. Then we have the dynamic character, which is defined as a character who undergoes a significant internal change throughout the course of a story. And a dynamic character is one who learns a lesson or changes as a person. So the reason why I say Luffy is a static character is because he has moments of growth and maturity, but they don't last long as he regresses back to his old self. Luffy's impulsivity and tendency to allow his anger to overpower him has resulted in detrimental consequences for those who support him. A prime example of this can be observed during the events of 𝚬𝚙𝚑𝚝 Archipelago, where Luffy succumbed to his rage and recklessly struck a celestial dragon, fully aware that an admiral would show up. And you would think that after a traumatizing experience like this, Luffy would think twice before heading into a fight, but no. In Punk Hazard, he gets KO'd by Caesar, and then in Wano, he gets rageful and takes on Kaido just to get one-shotted. And I cannot begin to describe my anger I felt when I read this in the manga, that Luffy took on Kaido with no training, just coming off one W from Katakuri, who is the second in command for a Yonko, and he thinks he's good enough to take on an actual Yonko. Like, I love Luffy. Like, I think he's a great character, and I've been such a big fan for 26 years. But when I read that, I'm not even sure if I like Luffy anymore, because he just does a lot of dumb shit and puts his crew in a lot of unnecessary danger. While on the other hand, Naruto's character development throughout the series is undeniably profound and often overlooked. From the initial stages of Part 1 to the culmination of the series, Naruto's battles extended far beyond mere displays of strength. They were rooted in matters of morality. Naruto had a clear understanding of right and wrong and fought for the ideas he believed in. Naruto's victories were not determined by his physical prowess, but by the alignment of his actions with his moral compass. For instance, when facing opponents like Neji, Gaara, and Zabuza, Naruto only won because he was in the moral right of that situation. And conversely, Naruto experienced defeats when he allowed his selfish motivations to guide his decisions. Notably in Part 1, his relentless pursuit of Sasuke without considering Sasuke's own position and what he had to do led to Naruto's loss in that battle. And this pattern repeated itself during their reunion in the early stages of Shippuden and in the Gaara rescue mission. So Naruto would occasionally succumb to lapses in judgment and fight for selfish reasons, but the narrative did not reward him for such actions. Instead, he had to endure those defeats and learn and grow from those experiences. In Part 1, Naruto attempted to establish a connection with Sasuke despite his lack of understanding, even when Sasuke rebuffed him with the words, "You don't know the first thing about me." Naruto tenaciously brushed it aside and continued to strive for Sasuke's return. It was only towards the end of the series, after gaining a genuine comprehension of Sasuke's struggles, that Naruto could effectively criticize and engage in a meaningful discussion about their differing viewpoints of the world. These intricacies in Naruto's character interactions and his constant journey of self-discovery contribute to the remarkable depth and complexity of his persona. It is this continuous growth and exploration that distinguishes Naruto as a multifaceted protagonist within the series. But to be fair, Luffy and Naruto are very similar to each other. Both these characters are insanely goofy, lighthearted, and caring. However, the key differences lies in the transformative journeys each character undertakes. So while Luffy's core characteristics remain relatively consistent throughout One Piece, Naruto experiences numerous metamorphoses, ultimately evolving into the person he is today. Naruto's growth is notable as he navigates a complex world plagued by conflict and strives to attain world peace amidst the chaos of war. It is through his personal transformations that he becomes a catalyst for unity amongst diverse factions. Naruto's journey encompasses not only physical prowess, but also emotional and intellectual maturity. He learns the importance of empathy, compassion, and understanding, which play a pivotal role in his quest to unite everyone. In contrast, Luffy's primary focus revolves around his pursuit of adventure, the quest for the One Piece, and the bonds he forms with his crewmates. While Luffy undoubtedly influences and inspires those around him, his character development tends to center around more of strengthening his resolve and loyalty to his friends, rather than undergoing any significant change. So I would argue that Naruto is just the better written character, but I also think it's important that we acknowledge that he and Luffy are entirely different characters who serve distinct purposes in their respective stories. Naruto's initial aspiration to become Hokage was fueled by his desires to earn respect from those around him. Admittedly, this aspect of his character felt somewhat one-dimensional and lacking depth. However, as the series progressed, Naruto's understanding of the world and the true meaning of being a Hokage evolved. He was compelled to reevaluate his goal and gain a deeper understanding of what it truly entailed. While Luffy's role and dream are uniquely his own, as a captain he leads those under his command, but his leadership is driven by his own selfish pursuit of freedom. While the crew members have their own dreams, they willingly set them aside to prioritize Luffy's goal. And this distinction is crucial because Luffy is not motivated by a desire to lead others, as he has explicitly stated. His primary objective is personal freedom, which inherently rejects the idea of being tied down or shouldering responsibility for a greater cause. While Luffy does take care of his crewmates, ultimately every decision and action made by the Straw Hats is at Luffy's discretion. Naruto, on the other hand, makes decisions with the people he protects in mind. His choices are driven by a strong sense of responsibility towards others. And moreover, Naruto exists in a world plagued by warring states, and his mentor Jiraiya bestowed upon him the dream of achieving peace. And as a result, Naruto had to delve deeper and find a solution to end the cycle of war and suffering. And now let's address the often criticized Talk no Jutsu. In truth, this approach to conflict resolution aligns with the values we should strive for as humans. The idea of actively seeking to understand one another and empathize is a fundamental principle we should embrace. The Pain arc exemplifies this beautifully, as Naruto, despite having every right to seek revenge, chose to engage in a conversation instead. Through this act of understanding, he managed to bring an end to the conflict, ultimately saving the lives of his villagers, including Kakashi, who had died in battle. This powerful message, which Kishimoto aimed to convey to his predominantly male audience, emphasizes that resorting to violence is not always necessary. Our words have the potential to foster understanding and bridge gaps between individuals. In One Piece, we haven't witnessed instances where Luffy defeats an enemy solely through the power of his words, or even attempts to empathize with their motivations or struggles. There have been moments where Luffy could have potentially avoided conflicts by engaging in dialogue, such as the situation with Usopp. Luffy's heated approach to the argument caused Usopp to believe that leaving the crew was the only option, and it's disheartening to see Luffy treat his friends so poorly, especially knowing how much the Merry means to Usopp. There were certainly alternative ways Luffy could have handled the situation, but unfortunately he chose a less ideal path, resulting in Usopp leaving the crew and challenging Luffy to a fight. A similar pattern emerged when Sanji left the crew during Whole Cake Island. Luffy sustained injuries from Sanji and only attempted to communicate with him as Sanji was preparing to depart. But Luffy could have completely handled that situation differently, and if he just stopped Sanji and not let him hit him, he could have had a conversation with Sanji and figure out what was bothering him, and maybe they could have come to a resolution earlier. But at the end, Luffy had to make a decision to remain captured and put his complete faith in Sanji to save him, which, if you ask me, is a little bit selfish to make Sanji really go through all that, because he's going through a very emotional, turbulent time, and not only have to worry about Zeph in East Blue, he has to worry about the cuffs on his hand exploding, and now Luffy, who's going to starve himself to death unless Sanji helps him. And Sanji was in a position where the people he loved could be hurt, and Luffy just added to the fire by saying, hey, I'm also going to put myself in harm's way unless you help me. And I get both sides of this scene, because a lot of people thought that this was a beautiful moment for Luffy to declare his love for Sanji and say, hey, I can't achieve my dreams without you. But at the same time, it puts a burden on Sanji because he has a lot of things to worry about. And honestly, I feel like a conversation would have been the best for this situation. But again, that's not Luffy's purpose for this story. Naruto and Luffy have their own stories and their own differing goals, which contribute to how they're written. Luffy does not need to be this complex to be the character he is, because he is very simple-minded and his goals are very simple, while Naruto has a lot more on his plate to deal with. And to be honest, I don't really mind if you like Luffy over Naruto. Like, honestly, they're very close for me, but I would put Naruto above Luffy. But it's whoever you enjoy is great, because Luffy has so many badass moments and his character is just really cool, so that's why people fall in love with him. I just get upset now that, you know, Naruto's been off the air for so many years and we got Boruto, that people are just shitting on Naruto when they really shouldn't be, because Naruto is a GOAT. He is part of the big three, and he was the closest rival to One Piece back in the heyday, back in the prime. So to see Naruto getting all this slander just rubbed me the wrong way. So I just wanted to make this video to express my love for both these characters and to talk, a little bit more about Naruto in a higher esteem than what I've been seeing online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below if you guys are Team Naruto or Team Luffy, and do you agree with the points I made in this video? But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!